Hi, this is Michael, and today I'm looking at the new Aphex Exciter. This is the next generation in the line of exciters that Aphex has been producing. This replaces what was the 204 Aural Exciter. We're going to go over the controls and actually put it in a rack and see what it's going to do for us. Here I'll take a look at the back panel of the Aphex Exciter. First of all, here is your AC connector. Then you do have a grounding lug here. Both channels have both TRS quarter inch and XLR inputs and outputs. And of course this can be run in unbalanced if you choose. And these are duplicated for both channels. We're going to put this into the rack and then I'll describe the front controls for you. I've got the Exciter installed in my rack now and I'd like to go over the controls. I do want to mention that my application for using the Exciter is in my mobile disc jockey business. So if you're a studio, you may have different needs and expectations, but I'm basing most of my comments here on how it's going to work for me and enhancing the sound of the pre-recorded music, MP3s and CDs that I play. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so we can take a closer look at the controls that we're going to deal with as we're using the Exciter. And on the left is the power switch, and when you depress that, it turns on the unit and also lights the Aphex logo. Then on the left here we have the big bottom controls are first, and there's three controls for controlling the big bottom and the Aural Exciter. The first control here is the drive control. Basically you want to set this up so that the bass peaks cause the green LED to flash. And you want that to flash and fade between the bass peaks. So if this is on continuously, you want to back your drive down because you'll be injecting too much bass sustain if that is not set properly. The next control is the frequency, and this is determining the frequency that the range of the effect, and this ranges from 50 Hertz up to 200 Hertz. I usually set it as a starting point right about the 12 o'clock position. And thirdly is the amount, and this is just the amount of bass enhancement that you're adding. Again, you don't want to overdo this, and as a general rule I think less is probably better. You just have to use your best judgment when you're using this unit, and you may have to change these controls depending on the style of music that's being played. So that can vary from song to song. Some songs are not going to be mixed with as much bass, so you may have to increase the drive a little bit. Conversely, some songs may be overproduced with more bass than you really need, and then so you would have to back this down. The next set of controls are controlling the Aural Exciter. And the first control is going to be affecting the frequency range of the effect, and this ranges from your mids starting at about 600 going up to 5K. Then the next control is the Aural Exciter Harmonics control, and this is determining the richness of the harmonics that are going to be created by this unit. Instrument tracks, you might want to use a little bit more. Voice tracks, maybe a little bit less, but you really need to just determine that by your ear. And third is the amount control, and this just is adjusting the amount of aural excitement that's being added to your source. And the higher the setting, you're going to get a more noticeable effect, more dramatic, and reducing it is obviously going to reduce the effect. If you go all the way to the minimum, then you're basically removing the effect. And then finally we have the in and out for the effect. This is the process on and off switches for channel 1 and channel 2, and both of them have indicator lights in there. I've really debated here whether I should bother trying to play music through this using my camcorder. I really don't think it's going to do it justice. You really probably won't be able to hear much difference. But I can tell you that it really does add a lot of clarity and punch to the bass. I think it's really a great effect. You've got to use it judiciously. but when you use it the right way, it definitely enhances your sound. Something similar that, if you're not familiar with the Exciter, another similar piece of equipment would be like the BBE Sonic Maximizer. This is an older Sonic Maximizer that I have used in the past. This is the 322. It works on an entirely different principle, and I'm really not going to get into it, but just to say that the end effect, it tries to achieve a similar end effect. You're basically adding clarity and more presence to the mids and highs, and you're trying to add more punch to the bass. I think you're really going to like the Aphex Exciter. This is the newest in the generation of exciters that have been produced by Aphex, and you're really getting all their experience over the years bundled into one nice little package here. And that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'll answer them if I can, and I hope this helps you out.